A man accused of throwing Molotov cocktails at a group of people in Boulder, Colorado, who gathered in support of Israeli hostages in Gaza has been indicted by a federal grand jury on 12 hate crime counts, prosecutors said on June 25. The indictment comes after a federal judge ruled last week that there was enough evidence to move forward with a hate crime case against Mohammed Sabri, 45. The indictment, which was unsealed on June 25, accuses Solomon of attacking members of Run for Their Lives, a group advocating for the release of the hostages held in Gaza since the assault on Israel by Hamas on October 7, 2023. The incident occurred on June 1, as the group gathered at a pedestrian mall in downtown Boulder for a weekly demonstration. Initial reports indicated that there was a man with a weapon, and people were being set on fire near the Boulder County Courthouse. Authorities said Solomon targeted the group with Molotov cocktails and a makeshift flamethrower, injuring more than a dozen people. State prosecutors have also charged Solomon with 118 criminal counts, including attempted murder and other offenses. He faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if he is found guilty of the federal hate crime charges against him. The 12 hate crime counts against Solomon include 9 counts of violating 18 U.S.C. Section 249, willfully causing injury to a person, several of which had red rags stuffed through the top to act as wicks, according to the indictment, because of their actual or perceived race, color, religion, or national origin. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Colorado, authorities said 15 people between the ages of 25 and 88 were injured with burns. According to the indictment, the document stated, "Zionism is our enemies until sick Jerusalem is liberated, and they are expelled from our land," and also described Israel as a cancer entity. Solomon was taken into custody following the attack. Authorities closed off several blocks in downtown Boulder surrounding the county courthouse as multiple teams processed the crime scene and investigated a subject vehicle. An affidavit said he was born in Egypt and lived in Kuwait for 17 years before moving to Colorado 3 years ago, told investigators that he planned the attack for a year and was waiting until after his daughter graduated to conduct the attack. According to the affidavit, he hoped to use a gun and had taken shooting classes, but his immigration status prevented him from purchasing a firearm, the affidavit said. By then, the family had been transferred to a detention facility in Texas, where the case is expected to be heard. Uber confirmed that Solomon had worked as a driver starting in spring 2023, though the company did not specify whether he worked driving passengers or for Uber Eats, or both. The company terminated Solomon's account following the attack, but noted that he had no concerning feedback while driving on the Uber platform. It also includes 3 counts of violating 18 U.S.C. Section 844, using fire or an explosive to commit a felony. Solomon had previously been charged with a federal hate crime offense. The U.S. Attorney's Office said Solomon's wife and children, ages 4 to 18, were detained by immigration agents on June 3, and the Trump administration said they would be subjected to expedited deportation. Boulder attack. How a father of 5 morphed into a terror suspect, with Boulder's Jews in his crosshairs. What happened in the attack in Boulder? Boulder Dispatch received several calls to the outdoor Pearl Street Mall at around 1:26 p.m. local time on June 1, police said. Get the Diddy on Trial newsletter in your inbox. Inside the courtroom for the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Delivery varies. Your email: Solomon had carried a backpack weed sprayer that contained a flammable liquid and a black plastic container that held at least 18 glass bottles and jars filled with flammable liquid. The indictment states that he then allegedly approached the Run for Their Lives group and threw 2 ignited Molotov cocktails while shouting, "Free Palestine." The indictment said a handwritten document was recovered from the vehicle driven by The indictment further alleges that Solomon told law enforcement during an interview that he viewed anyone supporting the existence of Israel on our land to be. Solomon also said he learned of the Run for Their Lives group through online searches for events and that he was able to identify the group after seeing the flags and signs they carried outside the county courthouse. The indictment states, the Associated Press reported that during the June 18 hearing, Solomon's defense attorney had urged the judge not to allow the hate crime case to proceed because the alleged attack was not a hate crime. The attorney said the attack was motivated by opposition to the political movement of Zionism. According to AP, 1 year later, anti-Jewish and anti-Muslim hate incidents spike since October 7. At issue is Mohammed Solomon. Solomon entered the United States in August 2022 on a beta tourist visa that expired over 2 years ago. According to Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia Solomon, who has a valid Colorado driver's license and no prior criminal history, according to the affidavit, he lived at a home in Colorado Springs with his wife and 5 children. But a federal judge in Denver blocked the move on June 4, saying the family is entitled to due process.